in Harris County. That little diagram shows us that we are still considered at level 2, which is significant and uncontrolled level of COVID-19 in Harris County. Suggests that vaccinated residents should minimize contact with others, avoid any medium or large gathering, and visit permissible businesses that follow public health guidance, which Triple J does. So that is why we came right to the heart of the community to continue my commitment to go where you are and to make available free COVID testing for children 5 to 11 and as well adults, first shot, second shot, Pfizer, Moderna, and your booster shot. But as well, we are very happy to provide you with a COVID-19 test, which I have done at least 3 tests this week. One for a visit to the White House on Monday, one for the State of the Union, and one that I'm going to take today to be with the Vice President tomorrow. I'm not ashamed of getting tested, and if I was positive, I'd have to protect all of my constituents and those who I'd be associated with. So testing is not a stigma, and I would encourage those of you getting your barbecue to get tested or to get vaccinated. This is our 75th vaccination site, 83rd testing site, and we have a total of 994,000 cases in Harris County, 10,709 deaths in Harris County. We're at 6.58 million cases in Texas, 85,695 deaths. The United States has 79.2 million cases, and we're almost at 1 million deaths. It will not help us if we don't take advantage of the free vaccines and testing protocols that are provided by the federal government. And that means that we are not where we need to be. Doses given in Texas, 44.5 million. We only have 17.5 million fully vaccinated. That's 60%. That means 40% are vulnerable to COVID. And because it has subsided doesn't mean that we will not have a resurgence through Omicron. There are 550 million doses given and fully vaccinated, 215 in the United States, and we're only at 65%. You know, the world watches and says with all of the free access to testing and vaccines, and we live in South and Central America, we live in India or Asia Pacific, or we live in the continent of Africa and we can't get tested. Why Americans won't get tested and or vaccinated? So I wanted to make sure that I continue to come to neighborhoods, glad to be in Northeast, glad to be on Homestead, to be able to remind you that there are an average of 22.6 daily new cases in the United States. It is a decrease when there was an average of 31.4. There are 378,000 new cases throughout the last week, and now we're at 78.3 million. And of course, there is a number of deaths. The Houston, Woodland, Sugar Land metro area consists of Harris County, Fort Bend. Fort Bend is on the rise, and 6 other counties. In the past week, there were an average of 23.6 new coronavirus cases every day. And people are being hospitalized, and it particularly negatively impacts children. And there were an average of 46.2 new cases in the Fort Bend area. That's where it's increasing the most. But it also includes Chambers County and a number of other counties. So my message is not to frighten, not to exaggerate, but to tell people that for your own good, why I'm out here today, why we've been open since 11:30, why we'll take 1 or 2 or 3 of you that will want to be vaccinated with your boosters and or to ensure that you get your first shot, second shot, or your children can get vaccinated, which is very, very important, is because, one, I care, and because it is extremely important to deal with the increasing numbers or the numbers that go on and on and on and on. That is why we're here, because COVID-19 has not gone. It has subsided. We have circumstances where you can take your mask off indoors if you feel that you're in an audience or a group that is fully vaccinated. That means even as you go to services tomorrow, if you're not sure that every single person is vaccinated, I want to thank the faith community for continuing to have people wear their masks when they are not speaking in front of the mask. And so I'm hoping all these good folk getting the barbecue, that's why I came in the afternoon, I know they'd be here, could get a quick test. If they can get a quick test, they'll be in good shape to make sure that they're protecting their family. So let me ask Lynette to come forward. Thank you, UMCC, for helping us. And I want to make sure that we give appreciation to you. Just tell them how simple it is to get a test or a vaccine. Thank you so very much.
Hi, I'm Lynette. I'm from UMMC. I want to just say it's very easy to come and get a test. We don't have any waiting right now. Give us your information. We do a quick little nasal swab on you, and that's it. If you want vaccines, we have Moderna, we have Pfizer, we have boosters. We have no line waiting. We had 2 PD Pfizers done today, and we had 3 boosters done today. Very easy, very simple. So come on out and get your vaccines or your tests. And COVID is still out there, and COVID is still real. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I want to thank our host, Triple J's, for, you got to tell them how long you've been here in terms of this community store. You do so much for the community. You open your doors to us. We believe in coming to the neighborhood. We want you to say a word there. Thank you so very much, and thank Rhonda as well for her kind generosity.
I want to say thank you again to Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee for selecting Triple J's to host a free COVID-19 testing and vaccine and booster site. I want to encourage everyone to please come out, get tested, get your vaccine, get your booster shot. It saves lives. It'll help you. It helps everyone to get over this virus as soon as possible. Say thank you again to Sheila Jackson Lee for selecting Triple J's to host this event in the community. Thank you again.
Well, thank you, and I'm going to wink at you because I know you got some folks vaccinated back there working. And well, let's say it loud. Let's say it loud how you believe in it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I do believe in it. I've been vaccinated. Our coworkers have been vaccinated and have their booster shots as well.
Wow, they need to get an applause. Here's a COVID-protected business. I want to thank Rhonda Scales, let her know how much I appreciate her. Thank you as well. We don't keep you from your business. You came out. We are greatly appreciated. And again, we thank you for the work that you're doing. Is that all right?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me, I always like to add a bit to my message today. All week we've been getting briefings on Ukraine. I just came back from the region a week ago. It is well known that it's going to get worse before it gets better. I was just on with the State Department to talk on some issues, and we'll be back with them about a Ukraine task force that I'm going to want to talk to about individuals trying to get different members out. We helped to get 2 basketball players out of Ukraine just about the early part of the week, and they're home now with their families, and we're grateful for that. But as President Zelensky has said, as he has stood steadfast, it is a evil war. These are my words, and it is an evil person. The ceasefire that gave us just a second of inspiration was immediately violated by Russia, which did not allow the pathway of fleeing refugees to get out, or fleeing individuals to get out safely. It is sad to see the children, women, and others who are now in places like Estonia and Latvia, but mostly Poland, and even the potential of some of these refugees, now 1 million plus, that may be coming to the United States. I just spoke to the national president of the Red Cross. I know there are many organizations here trying to get goods over to the region. I'm going to try to add to the help in terms of how goods can come. Very difficult to get in that region, but I know there are many Estonians collecting in it, it would be positive that those goods would not be sitting at a port or sitting on this side of the ocean, that it could actually get to those who are in need. So the real, we're seeking leadership from the U.S., from the National Red Cross, to be able to help those of us in Houston to want to get goods over to Ukraine. The other thing is that I do believe that we should have a modified reduction of purchase of Russian oil. We should continue to use all of the financial tools to ensure that the banks are in difficult condition, and of course the ruble continues to disintegrate to get Putin's attention. I, however, am committed to the peace table and will continue to encourage the administration, as we have the leadership of President Biden, Vice President Harris, to continue to go to the peace table. It is crucial. Continue to press Putin to find a way with President Zelensky to ease their differences. The difficulty is that the representation of Putin are so much full of untruth. There's so many lies. There's no reason to fight Nazism. It doesn't exist. President Zelensky is Jewish. We've said this over and over again, but in actuality, there's no discernible Nazism activity that would impact the Russian people. There's no reason, no threat to the Russian-speaking people that are at the border, and he has now far exceeded the border, and his desire is to attack Kiev, the capital, to destroy it with 3 million people, and to literally destroy Ukraine and to put it under his bondage. That's what it will be. They will be enslaved under Russian bondage. It will be a vicious cycle of despotism. People will be incarcerated and thrown in jail, and it will be a nightmare. We are continuing to send weapons to the Ukrainian people, such as the javelins, and we're hoping that there can be a miracle where the persons who are now embedding themselves in Kiev and trying to do resistance and guerrilla warfare, that they will succeed. The tragedy is that there are body bags in Ukraine, and there are Russian soldiers, young soldiers, going home in body bags to Russia. The Russian people did not know anything about this war, did not vote for this war, but this is the results of a very sick mind and a very sick person. I am hoping that the Allies can stay united and that we can find ways to bring a solution to this at this time. Let me just remain stalwart, and this is a button I've been wearing all day. We stand with Ukraine. I'm going to put it on now. We stand with Ukraine, and we do. We want all migrants, no matter what their backgrounds, coming out of Ukraine. We've spoken to the State Department about that, so that as migrants that are diverse and are students that are studying in Ukraine from Africa, everybody will have an equal opportunity to cross into Poland or the countries that will be accepting them. And we know that that will be the case. So let me just put on my button as I make my other point. I want to specifically speak to, I'm headed back to Washington. I'm headed back through the commemoration of the Bloody Sunday. But we have been working with the Union Pacific cleanup in Fifth Ward. This past week I met with the Environmental Protection Agency that came to Houston at my invitation, were appalled at what they saw in the Fifth Ward and Kashmir Gardens area. The amount of people that were dying from cancer because of the chemicals being used by Union Pacific. And so let me give good news. The EPA will be impacting on the comments requiring Union Pacific to clean up this mess. they will be submitting their requirements or their comments for proposals to Union Pacific, to TCEQ. First, they want development for more public involvement, including community involvement specifically in the cleanup. They want the community to be involved with Union Pacific. I believe they should establish a community advisory committee. They want a development of a conceptual site model intended to get a sense of where the contamination issue and how it might be mitigated. They want them to develop an official model to find where the contaminants are and to tell the community how they will specifically mitigate it. And then they want TCEQ, they want Union Pacific to adopt a cleanup plan for the ongoing future health studies. It was the cancer study that I requested about 3-4 years ago that determined that there were cancer clusters in Fifth Ward and in Kashmir, and the death toll was enormous. And they want to make sure that they get a deeper response from Union Pacific. This may ultimately result in the elongated process of establishing a Superfund cleanup, but that is a very detailed process. And they also want to determine how pollutants have left the site and where they have gone off-site. So how they have gotten into the air and how they have gotten into other parts of our community. This has been an ongoing contamination, and the question is how many other contaminants have mixed in with creosote and created a cancerous condition. I'm excited that EPA is involved, that they're going to give extra added requirements in the comments. I encourage the TCEQ to work with the Environmental Protection Agency. This announcement of their comments will be made next week, but we are grateful that they will be having a stronger impact with the Union Pacific cleanup. And we will expect to have the response to those who have suffered. When I walked the blocks in that area, every household door that I knocked on, someone had died from cancer or someone was suffering from cancer as we speak. So it is extremely important that we address that question, and my office will continue to work, and it is the Biden administration's EPA that now is engaged with TCEQ, and Union Pacific will have to respond to the community and expect them to have a more effective cleanup protocol and model to go deep into this question of contaminants so they can clean up Kashmir Gardens and Fifth Ward and do it now. Now let me offer my concern to former Nimitz High School graduate and Brittany Griner. I knew her when she was here with the WNBA that has now been detained for almost a month in Russia. She has legal representation and the team's interests, but I am likewise interested. We know that there were some issues dealing with vape cartridges and other items. But let me be very clear. Brittany Griner is a United States citizen. She was a guest in Russia. With the WNBA, she's been, and I will be demanding her release. I have just spoken to the State Department to try to get them to focus on her circumstances. As I said, she's been there for a period of time, about a month that this happened, as I understand. But the Russian Federal Customs Service announced that they had detained her on Saturday, which is earlier than today for us. And I know that there are items that they represent that are adverse to them. I don't want to disregard a sovereign nation, but Putin has disregarded sovereign nations his entire service in this world. And anyone that is killing and attacking and destroying Ukraine, their neighboring country that is not bothered and has no right to hold Ms. Griner, period. If there is challenges and concerns about her actions, it should be dealt with diplomatically, and she should be released. Dealt with diplomatically. She has a storied history of Olympic gold medals, 7-time WNBA All-Star center, and I believe that at this time in the midst of war, how dangerous it is to be in Moscow, how dangerous it is to be in Moscow prisons, with over 6,000 potentially protesters that Moscow has now arrested because they were protesting the war. It is no place for her. And so I hope that we will not provide any additional adversity to her. Don't intend to do that. They are in contact with her own legal representation, her family, as I understand, teams and others. My only concern is to be able to be helpful to ensure that while she is there, she can be appropriately cared for as some of the other detainees that are U.S. citizens that have not been able to be released. So I would call upon Russia at this time to really stop harassing U.S. citizens, but more importantly, to release those that are there and to not claim any upper hand or any sense of character in the pillage and murder and terroristic actions against the Ukrainians. Please allow Ms. Griner to safely leave. Allow her legal representation to handle her matters, and ask the United States to take a special attention to all of those detained in Russia at this time. We have a family that is concerned. Trevor Reed, he is still there, former military, and he is still detained. The one thing about Russian prisoners, when they are from foreign countries, is the treatment is horrific. Their lives are in jeopardy. Their health is in jeopardy. We don't know whether they'll make it. Their health care is not provided. They're not eating right. I know that firsthand from the prisoners and families that I've talked to whose loved ones are still in Russia today. So this warrants attention. And frankly, I would like, in the midst of this terrible war, that we could engage in a way that the United States can demand the release of their citizens now, and at least demand that they are protected, that their health is protected, and that they're not having these exorbitant sentences. It's represented that there's an exorbitant sentence that might be given to Ms. Griner. Already we've got U.S. citizens, former military, innocent people that were visiting with ridiculously long sentences for the minimal of grievance. This is shameful. Putin did it to agitate, harass, but now there's no ground that he can stand on. He is a harasser, a terrorist, a killer, and he's killing innocent people in Ukraine, and we need to get our citizens out immediately. So, again, we are testing. Glad the line is here. Good. We are testing. We are vaccinating. Somebody might be so encouraged. I know the barbecue is good, but a test doesn't take long for you to take. Might be good for you if you're traveling to come out and get vaccinated and tested. With that, let me thank UNCC. Let me thank Triple J. And we're glad we're here. Because if nothing else, we are bringing attention to the fact that the community is not out of trouble. They're not out of the range of COVID. They're number 2 significant presence of COVID in the Harris County region, Woodlands, Montgomery County, Chambers, and Fort Bend. Let's get vaccinated. Let's get tested. Let's get on the other side of COVID-19. I'll take any questions at this time. Let me thank all of you again. Thank you very much. Let me thank all of you again. It's a beautiful day in Houston, and I'm going to say the same thing that Triple J's has. Thank you, Houston, for supporting us. Congratulations to the rodeo. It's teeming over with people, hopefully vaccinated and tested. We're taking the leap. Let me also welcome a number of guests, members of the United States Congress who have come in, particularly the chairman of the Democratic Caucus, Hakeem Jeffries, and many others. Our assistant leader, Catherine Clark. Leadership from the U.S. House is here to participate in the rodeo with my colleagues and fellow Houston congresspersons, and we are glad for that. Just want to get people tested, and we just want to get our very, how shall I say it, exciting basketball player who's given us much joy, Brittany Griner, along with Trevor Reed and others who are similarly locked up in these miserable, dangerous Russian jails. We want them out. And I want to say to the people who protested, up to 6,000 Russians who protested against this senseless, purposeless, moralist, without moral law, war, that they did not know. Let me say it again. Senseless, purposeless, immoral war that they were given no notice of. Let me as well pray for their release, for they have been incarcerated just for the right to speak and protest. Shame, shame, shame. Thank you very much.